Hey all, Kurt Southwell here from TGT at Fan Expo Canada 2011. We're here with one of my favorite creators of all time, master of all things Goblins and D&D, Tarol. How are you doing today, Tarol?
Good, thanks.
You know, I was pleasantly surprised and squeed a little bit when I saw that you were here at the convention, and I was glad to see Goblins because it's a it needed a much deserved showcase, and Fan Expo is the place to do it. And how did you come about coming to here with, of course, the second year?
Oh man, how did I end up in this one? I think I ended up here just because Blind Ferret, my publisher, was coming here, and then they just sort of like grabbed me and brought me along. So it's hard to tell. It's hard to remember because you make plans to show up at a convention like a year ahead of time, 6 months ahead of time. So I don't know why I'm here.
Why are any of us here? It's the meaning of life, you know. The great thing about Goblins is you have a huge archive, you have so many different tying storylines and unique characters. You know, your mind sometimes boggles at the fact that you have to wrap around these creative characters that you've created. The most notable is your latest storyline where your adventurers are going through like multiple universes and they're fighting each other in this one large dungeon.
Yeah.
That just, you know, my mind just exploded at that point. Now, tell us a little bit about that.
I'm a big fan of something that's kind of considered a little bit of a cliche in comic books and media. The fighting a version of yourself, an evil version of yourself, you know, like Spider-Man's got Venom, you know, and I mean, you've got just the polar opposite of who you are. I've always been a big fan of that. I just love that. It's a lot of people sort of roll their eyes and call it lazy writing. I can't get enough of it. And I love clones. I love alternate realities. All that sort of thing. It's really interesting to me. So yeah, it was inevitable that something like this was going to happen in the comic. So I get to draw a whole bunch of different alternate reality versions of my characters and you know, have them like bash each other, and I love it. I love the storyline.
And it's truly great. But the main thing about this is of course the Goblin adventurers. Now they're trying to survive being chased by, I think, the ultimate Terminator when it comes to your universe.
Oh, you mean you're talking about Core?
The Core.
The dwarf? Yeah. He the armor is from something that I actually put in my games when I was a DM, and he was originally a bounty hunter hunting down the players. The guy inside the armor was totally different in the comic, but the armor itself was the same. And I'd written like a half a dozen bounty hunters that were all chasing down the players, and this one guy in the armor just scared the crap out of the players, and they loved it, and so he ended up in the comic because of that. And I really like the armor. I like what it does for the story. I think it's appealing. It's a pain in the butt to draw, but yeah, I mean, so, and then there's the whole era of mystery with him. Like, we've never seen his face. We don't know who's in there really or anything.
You've been doing this for so long. You've had, so many different arcs that you're going by. Which arc stands out to you as your true favorite?
I'm so terrible with favorites. I don't have a favorite. I like once I've been drawing one for a while, I'm really excited to get on to the next one. You know, just because it's something new. The storyline was written 6.5 years ago, so the things I'm drawing now I wrote 6.5 years ago, and I'm really excited to be getting it. Each time I get to like the next point in the story, I'm really excited to actually tell, because I've been waiting so long to tell this part of the story. But I don't know if I think if I had to pick a favorite part in the story, we haven't got there yet, so I can't say what it is or anything. But you know, it's difficult to pick a favorite.
You know, Fan Expo Canada is one of the largest Canadian conventions out there. As I said, I'm glad you're here. But once this closes up, once you're finally ready to pack up and head back home, what personal experiences are you going to take away from this convention?
I signed a bra. I think that's going to. I signed a woman's bra while she was wearing it. So that was pretty awesome. But I mean, it's hard to just remember one thing. I mean, there's like all the costumes and the great people, and I love conventions, and this is a fantastic. It's huge, and there's everything to make a geek happy. So I'm gonna go home and just sort of be in a daze for a while.
Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. It's been a true pleasure interviewing you here, of course, Tarol, and I just want to thank you for doing this. And what's the website for those that have never actually read Goblins?
It's goblinscomic.com. If anybody's not going to remember that, I just say Google Goblins is the first thing that comes up. So if you can remember the word Goblins, you can find it.
And you'll be treated to one of the best webcomic storylines out there if you love D&D. And thanks again, Tarol. Really appreciate it.
No problem.